The reason that we've come to call certain kinds of practices high impact is because when students do them, they benefit in unusually positive ways compared to their peers who don't get the same opportunity. So some of the key features are students end up in a learning community, for example, where they're taking the same 2 or 3 classes together. Those students on average spend 20% more time a week preparing for class, which is very unusual. I think in large part it's a peer effect, but the point here is that in a high-impact activity, learning community, writing intensive courses, internships, doing research with a faculty member, students end up spending a lot more time and effort. Efforts is probably the key piece here. That is focused time and energy on tasks that extend over a significant period of time, often a semester, sometimes even longer. But there are a number of other key elements. Almost always, students are in the company of faculty or their teachers or peers, and the nature of the interactions they have are, I'll say, more substantive. There are more opportunities for feedback. In real time, if something, let's say, explodes in the lab, you just don't walk away, say, well, we'll worry about the fire tomorrow. We have to deal with it now. So students get to see experts, their mentors, their instructional experts dealing with problems that are unanticipated. So how one responds to these novel situations is very important. That's really the power of, for example, study abroad. Students are now exposed to a different culture. It's best if they're immersed in it. What we know about the greatest effects of study abroad is not when you send, a group of 8 or 10 students to live in a condo above the Thames. It's when they live with the host family. So that, again, they're immersed and the deep appreciation of culture is more readily available. So feedback is very, very important. We also expect and we see a lot more, if you will, reflection about what it is that's happening to me, and we can structure that. I think what is really powerful about a potentially high-impact practice, maybe any pedagogical technique in or outside the classroom, would be how do we get students to think about what it is that they're experiencing now, and how is that different from, or how is it similar to, or what does it mean about some of the other things that they're doing in the course of their studies or working on campus or in the conversations with peers. And the last thing I'll just say, and as I said, there are a few other characteristics. What we expect to have happen is that students will somehow publicly demonstrate that they now can do something different that they were unable to do prior to the research experience or the writing intensive course or the internship, for example. So this list of 10, now 11, which we might talk about later, it turns out is not just powerful for virtually every student, but if they have unusually powerful, what we call compensatory effects. So it turns out that while almost every student benefits in unusually positive ways, the students who benefit the most are the students who are least well prepared for college, who may come from low-income backgrounds. Often they're first in family, as we say, first-generation students. And I think the reason is these kinds of activities put students in concrete situations where they now see relevance and meaning of what it is they're doing in college, which sometimes is a main reason why a lot of students leave college, as we say politely, prematurely. They drop out because they don't really understand what they're supposed to be doing with this history of Western civilization class, right? Very, very important backdrop and preparation. But you tie that into a learning community. Now you've got students working together outside of class. They have things in common to talk about. So I don't think this is really new to a lot of people who really understand the powerful developmental effects of a well-designed undergraduate experience. But now we have some data to affirm that the people who've been doing this work and the students who experience it primarily really have some great advantages out of the undergraduate program.